Dare to Compete, a popular TV show, Squid Game, now is a competition show. Real-life contestants compete in a high series of high-stakes games in a pursuit of $4.56 million cash prize. And I'm joined with an Augusta native, Sonia Romero, to tell us about her experience. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about this. Tell me how it felt to be on such a large production. I know it's the second largest cash prize in reality TV, and also the second largest amount of contestants, right?
Yes.
How did that feel?
It was honestly a surreal experience. I was shocked to even be picked out of thousands of people that applied, but I'm so glad that I put myself out there and decided to do it.
Yeah, so before we get into your experience a little bit, what made you want to even apply? And tell me, walk me through that.
It was honestly a joke when I applied. I was watching the show the first season, and at the end there was a QR code to apply. And it was a very lengthy process. I did not hear anything back for like 6 months until one day I was at Costco and I got a call from it, and I thought it was a scam. But I followed through with it, met with the producers, did interviews, and ended up getting picked on Thanksgiving Day of 2024.
Wow.
So it took a whole year actually from when I applied to when I got picked. Yes.
Okay, so now tell me about that experience, going out there. You said it took a year.
Yes.
This is a large production, and you're just a small little Georgia girl.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So we flew to London actually, and I took 2 weeks off of work. I was there for about a week. We were in a hotel room for 3 days, no communication at all. So they would tell us when to leave, when to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's when we started meeting some of the other contestants. And then when we got in the rooms, it honestly all felt like a dream.
Really?
Yeah. It was a lot, but it was a really, really fun experience.
Now tell me about some of the games that you played in. Were those the traditional Squid Games that we saw in the series, or?
So the first game was not, it was a counting game, and we all had, between the two teams, we had to reach to 456 seconds. So that was not part of the game show or the actual show at all. But the second game, the 5-legged race, that was part of the show. And that is actually the game that I got out on.
Right, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I did the ball in the cup, and it took me about 17 tries. It did take a lot of people, a lot of tries. And then we continued on. We were beating the other team by a lot, actually. And then we got to the House of Cards, and we just could not pull it through, and we ended up just not making it through. But it was a very, very tough experience to even walk tied to other people, especially because I'm so short and I was with really tall people. Right,
and they called that the pentaleg.
The pentathlon.
The pentathlon, yes. Thank you.
It's a big word.
It's a big mouthful for sure. Now I have to ask, and this question isn't coming from me, it's coming from one of my producers who was curious, was your death planned?
Planned? No. So they do give us a few seconds before we get like squid. And then we just fall and we have to lay there. But no, we don't know when they're gonna do it. And it did actually kind of hurt when I fell back because I was chained up and the tall people fell backwards and I had to bend my leg in a weird way so that we would all fall. But no, it was not planned at all.
Okay, so we talked about some of these contestants that you're with, 456 of them. These are people from all over. I think some of them are actually influencers and some are just regular people like you. What were kind of like the cohabitant areas like? Were you sleeping with these people? Were you rooming with them? Kind of what was it like?
So we were in a huge dorm. It was stacked bunk beds. Everybody had kind of their own little clique and groups. Even the first day, we would all go to the bathroom together. But there was not like a young people versus like older people. It was really whoever you got along with. I was really honestly between like really young people and then really, really older people. There was people that were in their 60s in there.
Really?
Yeah, which was, to me, was crazy. I can imagine doing an experience like this in my 60s. But we were all honestly together. There was, like I said, little cliques here and there, but we all knew we had to put ourselves out there if we wanted to stay in the game.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you have to have a lot of confidence for and bravery, at least, just willing to put yourself out there. Have you seen the series? I'm assuming you have.
Yes.
Do you feel that the experience was any way aligned with that show? I know it's very dramatic to say that, but do you feel like it kind of paralleled it?
I feel like it was. The way that I guess I could say we were treated, not like in a bad way, but just the way like the food we ate was not good at all.
Oh, okay.
you know, they would tell us when we were allowed to shower.
Okay.
We could go to the bathroom, but it was a community bathroom, kind of like the show, so boys and girls.
Yeah. Very immersive experience.
Yes, it was.
Right?
It felt very, very real, like the show, except the recording process of each game would take hours and hours and hours. So that part was not kind of like obviously like the show, but other than that, it was very spot on.
I'm sure that really contributed to your performance and to other players' performance too, those nerves, you know, and the feeling of it being fully immersed in that. And it's not real, but like you said, the only time you're kind of snapped out of that reality is when you have this giant production going on.
Yeah.
Other than that, it felt real.
It felt very real, yes.
Wow.
Even when we were sleeping, we would get woken up with the little song from the show.
Oh my goodness, how creepy.
It was really creepy.
I'm sure. So tell me, like, what the reaction has been from your friends. I mean, I'm sure, did they know you were going on? Were they watching you until you were eliminated?
Yes, so my closest family members and my 2 best friends did know that I was going to go on the show. They were all worried about me because, like I said, I had no phone, no communication with anybody at all.
Right.
And then we did have a little watch party at my house, and they were all very supportive and excited for me. They all told me I had to do it, even when I kept telling myself I'm not going to do that. But yeah, my friends were very, very supportive throughout this whole process, as well as my family.
All right, so I have to ask, do you plan on contesting any games soon? Have you really gotten the itch for it now that you've experienced it, or is this just kind of a one-time, you're done, that was the experience you needed?
I have applied to season 3 actually, but I do want to do other games that I've been kind of eyeing. So possibly, maybe in the future, hopefully.
There might be a future for you here. Well, can you just tell everybody at home, one last time what you were on, and hey, maybe you might even be season 3. Maybe. Give them a sneak peek where and when they can watch.
So I was on Squid Game's The Challenge, season 2. I was player 083. You can tune in on Netflix. The second part of the series just came out yesterday, and the finale will be coming out shortly.